Bang, bang. Why ain't you over there listening to G snoring? He's live streaming while he's sleeping. So I figured I'd just do a live stream about nothing also. Seems like the thing to do. Man, I fell asleep at like 7. Woke up at, 1? Tried to go back to sleep. I've been up since 3. I'm tired. I'm tired of being tired. Oh, man. I got a headache this morning. Man, the stuff I'm catching in the clouds, I can't edit. I don't want to edit out. This daggum phone is so out of memory, I can't even create YouTube shorts. It says I don't have enough memory to create a short. What are you doing up so early, bang bang? Yeah, it's man, it's like 50 degrees this morning. Hey, Paris. I don't know. I mean, isn't this what this whole world is doing? Just going in circles with some crazy ass shit. I think with all this laptop evidence, they should sit there and lock up Biden, Hunter, all of them. Get all of them, man. Now that it's coming out true, man, it shows why this country is acting like China, because it's compromised to China. Tired of shit. I'll be glad when Judgment Day gets here so I can sit there and go, yep, I knew it. I knew it. I knew that was happening. I knew that person was this and that. Yeah, man, ain't nobody watching my videos I put up. I don't know how many videos I'm getting, like 20 views. Maybe 50 at the max. They keep putting them fucking contrail banners on my stuff. And that just, I guess, stops it in the algorithm. I don't know. Oh, man. Man, I got a headache this morning. I don't know, but I got one this morning. Yeah, I figured I'd do it live and at least talk. You know, I'm not showing anything, but I am talking. That shadow band is making me not want to do anything. Seriously. I sit there and I catch all this crap in the sky and nobody sees it. That's what I don't get. I mean, you can clearly see it. But if I sat there and said it's a wampa wamp flying on a witch's broom, then people would be flocking. If you make up some crazy ass bullshit, something or another, I don't know. I give up. Well, the problem is the stuff changes. It's dimensional stuff, so it ain't the same every time you see it. You know what I mean? Or you might not see it, then you might see it, but and then you can see something and look at that picture later or video later and see something totally different. It's because it's dimensional, and that's how come people don't understand it, and that's how come people don't have any interest in it, because they don't have the mind capability of comprehending what their eyes are showing their brain. I'm just sitting on my bed. Ugh. I was supposed to be. I talked to her because she might have some ideas, thoughts, theories, whatever that I might not have heard. You know what I'm saying? I need some daggum answers. I'm tired of going to these damn channels that I don't know. I don't guess anybody has any answers. Except for that one dude. He says he knows he's the only person in the world that knows it all. But nobody will listen to him. But he'll tell you for months. He knows everything, but never tells you anything. He knows it all. He knows all the secrets of reality. LL. Man, food's been not right. I know I'd get like a banana nut bread from the bakery. And last time I got some, man, that stuff tasted weird, and I was scared to read to see if it has cricket flour in it. Pretty sure it does. Or either that or they're crushing up the little Kobe tabs. You know, it ain't just liquid form. They got it in pill form. They want everybody's DNA changed. That's why they're still pushing this. You gotta protect me. I'm the one in trouble if you don't do your thing. Man, we got some crazy. I'm just get back on this channel and just start calling out these motherfuckers, man. Joe Biden, that joker. There's no way in the world he should have ever been even thought of as a president, a electoral choice. There's no way. Then you got the damn nuclear waste secretary stealing women's luggage and being caught on 3 different occasions wearing the clothes that were out of the luggage while carrying the luggage bags like it was his or hers or its or whatever you call these sickos. Yeah, won't we just, hey, instead of worrying about fucking pronouns, let's just say anybody that feels that they're other than what they were born as are sickos. I mean, come on. I'm a sicko, you're a sicko. When you me sicko too. Yeah, I don't know about that fake egg stuff. I don't think I've run into them. Except for those eggs I had that glowed when I bust them open. Man, that might have been the fake eggs. Maybe that's what it was, man. If I put them eggs in that skillet, I'd fry it up some. I like chopping up some bologna and frying it up and then making scrambled eggs with chopped up fried bologna in it. I didn't have any bologna, so I was like, you know what? Hot dogs just like bologna. So I sliced up some hot dogs, frying them up. Daggum, put that egg in there, and it was glowing. I'm like, what in the world? I didn't eat it. I threw that stuff out. But yeah, that was I got it on video. It's somewhere on my channel. I got too many videos. I finally made it up to 2,080 subscribers. Man, I ain't lying. I got headaches this morning. I don't normally get headaches. But it could be all this barometric change and temperature change. It's warmer now than it was yesterday. But the temperature's supposed to drop all day, I think. Man, I need this spring. I'm gonna get a bunch of chickens so I can just raise my own eggs, and I'll plant those eggs and raise more chickens. Isn't that how you grow chickens? You just plant the egg seeds, and chickens will sprout up out of the ground. Oh no, I'm just a dumb country bumpkin. I don't know how to explode. I don't worry about how can I. You get a lot of people on here. They sit there and talk about I'm an empath and this, that, and the other. Well, I kind of am, but I don't put it out there. You know what I mean? Like I work on wrecked cars. I can look at a car and basically figure out what happened, and then the customer be like, "How did you know?" I'm like, "Forensic science." Yeah, I like the lower dimensions. That's where I hang out at. That's where I'm chained down to, and I can't get out of it. No matter what I do, I got Murphy's Law working 24/7 as just an override. If it's gonna go wrong, it will go wrong with me, guaranteed. It don't matter if I go to reach this cup of coffee, it's gonna spill. You know what I mean? Just stupid shit all the time. Just I need it in my hands, but it wants to fall out of my hands all the time. Or, you know what I'm saying? Just bullshit. Just constant nitpicking little bullshit that these fucking entities up above. Look, we're just a fucking video game for these things, man. They made that deer jump out in front of my truck. That was crazy. Imagine just driving, mind your own business. It's nighttime. You're coming into a town, and all of a sudden you have an explosion. Boom! Lights go out, and it's like, what the hell? Man, I hit that deer so hard, I knocked it back the way it came, and I knocked it about 50 foot. I mean, I hit it about 70 mile an hour. Sky Decipher, what's going on? I don't worry about the like button, man. It don't help nothing. Doesn't nothing help this channel on YouTube. I'm so glad to see this stuff. Look, you get Elon takes over Twitter, right? Then you get all these lefties. Oh, oh, oh he's gonna start censoring speech. Y'all MFers, y'all been doing it. And look, they got receipts showing this stuff now. Receipts. Proof that the White House, the Biden administration, called Twitter before he was even a president. And even after he's president. But anyhow, we've got our own United States government running the biggest psyop on the American people in history that we know of. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking. The only I ain't getting like look. You would think if I put a video up that gets 4,000 views, I would at least get one subscriber from that video, and I don't. I mean, I don't even know how I'm getting subscribers when they do subscribe. Yeah, it's crazy, man. They're still pushing the vaccine for military. I mean, it's been proven that vaccine does not stop the transmission, does not stop the spread. And as a matter of fact, at this point in time, more people are dying that have the vaccine than don't from the so-called COVID. But the problem is these people dying from COVID that are vaccinated are actually dying from what's happening inside their bodies due to some foreign substance that was injected. But people just, I don't know, man. I'm sick of it. I'm sick. These dadgum elites, man. We got to do something with them. We got to get rid of Charles Schwab. We got to get rid of this. How is it? All right, this is my deal. The World Economic pretty good, and then they're like, you know what? They started changing a few world policies here and there, and then they're like, hey, they got. There's so many strings attached to all the governments because it's strings of money. Money, money, money makes all these governments sit there and go, oh, yeah, we'll listen to you. Man, this global warming bullshit. You want to know why it's global warming? You want to know why the weather's so messed up? Because of all these contrails that are blocking out the sun. You make it cooler somewhere else, that extra heat goes somewhere else. You know what I mean? It ain't like you're cooling it down everywhere. You're just cooling it down in spots. But that heat's got to go somewhere. And it's getting trapped because of all this shit they got in there. That's how come on winter nights when it's cold, or how should I put it? Let's say you had a mild winter day. Well, if you have a cloudy night, it's going to be a mild winter night because the clouds trap the heat in. But if you have a clear sky, it's going to get cold. They're spraying all this stuff in the sky, and the shit's getting trapped in under. It is definitely man-made climate change. Man is making it change. I mean, it's definitely man-made because they're doing it. I mean, come on. Run a road. What is that? Who? Oh, okay, never mind. I was thinking whiskey or something. Never mind. I reread it. I can't think. I got a headache going on, y'all. They're not cremating them into crops. They're liquefying them and spraying them on the crops. They're liquefying them, bang bang. Yeah, that's the whole thing. You are what you eat. So they start, and that's the whole deal. Think about it. They know they got enough people they stuck the stuff in. So if they can convert that to fertilizer, they're still going to get the same results than anybody that eats the food made out of the people that were fertilized. Seriously, you ever you ever smoke weed and it tastes like horse shit? That's because they used horse manure for fertilizer. I mean, seriously, whatever you're growing that plant in, it's going to draw in to itself. Man, I'm hoping this coffee will help me up. Help me out. I want to say help me out. Yeah, it's just, the whole world is sick. Did you know China and Russia have teamed up officially now? Yeah. Look, there's a woman, she's like a, what do you call it, service writer where I work. And she's vegan, right? Well, she made some vegetable soup with hamburger meat in it. And I figured she just made it for us, right? Well, at lunch, she went and got her a bowl. And I looked at her, I go, I thought you were vegan. She goes, I am, but how did she, but I can't remember how she said it. Something about the hamburger meat, and she was trying it out or whatever. And I'm like, you're only vegan when you're not eating meat, then, right? I'm vegan when I don't eat meat. But I guess I'm vegan too. If I don't eat meat one day, does that make me vegan? I mean, come on. These people and their thought processes. If I think this at the time, it'll make it true. Brings me back to that Obama speech to that college. Let your own truths be your truths and believe them. I mean, even if your truth's a lie, believe it with all your heart, and that is true to you. Yeah, I don't deal with sour cream. I mean, I'll eat the cream cheese if a dessert's made out of it, but I don't eat much sweets and stuff. You're stressed about money. Man, I was at work earlier this week and I sat there and I told my boss, I go, do you realize over the weekend I spent more in bills than I made last week? Yeah. And then yesterday he come up to me and said, no, don't tell anybody, but I gave you a raise. So I got a raise out of saying that. That's one thing. A closed mouth doesn't get fed. I mean, it's horse manure is fine, I guess, but for some reason, all right, put it back when I used to smoke weed, I could tell you basically what they're growing it in. You could tell if it was hydroponics. You could tell what, I don't know, I want to say chemicals, but fertilizers and stuff they use in the high. I mean, you can taste the difference between bat guano, horse, cow, Planet X Hunter. Well, be careful out there driving. Watch out for them deer, man. I just had one jump out in front of me 2 nights ago. Never saw it, man. It was over with before I even knew it happened. I mean, boom! It was crazy. My dad was the second owner of that truck, and he passed away and gave it's all original, and now it's just tore up. I spent 6 hours trying to get that thing straightened out enough to get a radiator in it. Yeah. Look, I hit a deer. It takes out the driver's fender, grill, bumper, radiator. It even messed up my alternator. But I didn't stop after I hit it. I kept on driving. I'm like, well, it's still rolling. I don't smell any antifreeze. And I was like, and I drove about another mile, and I was like, I might ought to pull over and just see what's going on. Dang no. Well, you know what's crazy? This is what's crazy. I hit that deer in that truck the other night doing the same speed I hit that deer on a motorcycle with. And I'm like, how did I survive? I mean, it lifted the truck up. I mean, that truck, boom. I mean, I didn't run over it. Look, there is deer hair stuck in the sidewall of the front tire. I mean, still in there. I've done drove the thing 60 miles. Oh, that's another thing. I got up yesterday morning. I ain't got no way to get to work. I got to get out there and try to sit there and see what I do. And that radiator's leaking so bad, I was like, all right, I just loaded up the back of the truck with a bunch of antifreeze and water I had. And I made it 30 miles before it ran out of water. But I was at work, so. And then I had to finish the car up for work and clocked out at like 11:30 and worked on that thing all the way to 4:30. And I still didn't get a headlight in that side. And I didn't get it all straightened out, man. That deer tore some stuff up. It knocked the radiator support back so far. It flexed forward a little after the impact, but at the impact, it went back so far it hit my daggum alternator and messed the bearings up my alternator. My alternator's going now. And it ain't a cheap alternator. It's one of them $200 alternators. It's what I'm sick of, man. I get money saved up and something fucks up. I was going to go to St. Louis this morning, but I can't now. I was going to go up there and watch the dome racing. You shouldn't have said that, Bang Bang. You better knock on some wood. Yeah, I hit a deer on a motorcycle in 2003 at 65 miles an hour. Yep. I don't know, man. I know that hitting that deer in the truck the other night, man, that was a jar. And it was the same size deer that I hit on the bike. But I ain't lying, man. That deer, I hit it so hard, it knocked it 50 feet back into the median. I mean, it's 50 feet from the road where I hit it. And it was like 100 and something, 110 pound doe. Yeah, what's crazy though? For the last 4 days that it happened, man, I've been watching. I'm like, man, what am I going to do when one of these jump out in front of me? And I kept preparing myself for when I see one jump in front of me. I'm like, man, I gotta figure out how to calculate if I should go left or right, or I'm just kind of run scenarios all in my head because I felt like I'm about to have a deer jump out in front of me. For 4 days that was going on. And then it happened. And I never saw it coming. I never thought about not ever seeing a deer. I mean, I really didn't see it when it hit me, or I hit it, or however it happened. I just, I'm sitting there minding my own business, driving, smoking a cigarette, and all of a sudden, boom! And I guess when the headlights spun around when it came out, it must have shined on it, or I barely saw a little bit of fawn color, tan color, deer color. And I was like, that fucking deer. Excuse my language, y'all. I've had enough. I've had enough. Dadgum, a wild turkey. I mean, that's crazy. He hit a turkey and it killed him. I hit a deer and here I am talking to y'all. That was the biggest squirrel I ever saw in my life was when I was on a motorcycle. And you know how they run back and forth. I was going too fast, and all of a sudden there's a squirrel. So I go to the left, it runs. I go to the light, right, it runs. I go to the left, it runs. I was doing like 90 or something. Somehow I missed the squirrel, but that would have killed me. A squirrel. I'm just gonna say, y'all. I believe in doing at least 10 mile over the speed limit. Anything under 10 mile an hour in the state of Tennessee does not go on your record if you get a ticket. Anything above 10 mile an hour to 20 mile an hour will go on your record. And anything above 20 mile an hour, they can take you to jail for reckless driving. Which in reality, they shouldn't be able to do any of that stuff because these public roads are for us. And those speed limit signs are for commercial drivers. But that's a whole nother topic. And my nose, man, my sinuses have been going crazy here lately. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know, y'all. I think I'm about done with all this internet stuff. This phone, boy, I haven't even had it a month, and it doesn't have any memory left in it. What's the matter with this thing? Man, this phone is getting hot. What? You confused me. What are you talking about? You get one, do you like houses? Two, possibly three. What? What are you saying? Hey, there's so much in the sky nowadays, it's crazy. But they're changed something up there to where I can't edit out the colors like I used to. I don't know what's the deal. I can't bring out what I'm catching on camera anymore. That's another problem I'm running into. We're already seeing those monsters up there. They're need to be walking on this earth. Either that or I don't know. when the time comes, the people that are with that crap that's above our heads will still be here, and maybe we'll be gone. I don't know. How does one DUI count as two? Oh, it's going on. It's look. It's all around us, under us, above us, in us. We're made out of all this crap somehow or another. Somehow or another. I don't know. I can understand it in my mind. I just can't explain it. Well, I've seen years ago ants going in the circle, and they claim somehow they lose the trail back to the nest. I'm thinking, yeah, that ain't what's happening, because ants don't lose their trail back to the nest. And then we got this is when I lived up in Jackson. We got a pest control to come out because we had ants getting up in the house, right? And he's like, ants don't travel more than 20 feet from their nest. And I'm like, I know this guy's full of crap. Because I followed the ant trail, then went all the way down the 50-foot driveway to the road, and then went down the road to the stop sign. I mean, this ant nest was like over 100 feet away. Ants don't travel any further than 20 feet. What a crock of poo poo. You know what was weird? Y'all know that morning, what was it, November the 7th, election day, when we were having that blood moon eclipse? Man, it was the weirdest sensation when I was driving to work, so that meant it was right in the middle of the total eclipse that we couldn't see. But man, I had joyful, gleeful feelings running through me, like, man, this is it. I felt great. It was weird. I ain't had in a long time. How do I make them bubbles move a minute ago? I know they'd move on my other phone when I move my hand in front of them. But yeah, I just figured I'd go live and talk to somebody. I don't talk to people much. I mean, I can talk to people, but I don't talk to people that much. Everybody at work. There he is. He's looking at the sky again. And a lot of people, man, it's crazy. They don't even have a clue. I'll start explaining. I'll get a guy out there. I'll be like, all right, you want to know why I'm looking at the sky? I go, look at that cloud right there. You see how it's doing this and that and the other? He's like, yeah, I never noticed that. I go, you got to look up more. You got to start paying attention. Well, I'm known to put people to sleep. If you need to go back to sleep, bang, bang, just stick on this channel. I'm the best sleep channel on YouTube. I put more people to sleep than any other channel, and that ain't no lie. I'm serious. So many people have commented, I fell asleep during your live. I don't be. Look, when I saw what I saw a few years ago, and I told my dad what I saw, and I saw it through binoculars, so I saw it in great detail. He told me I need to go to a mental hospital. And after he said that, I was like, you know what? I know what I saw. So I just quit looking up. For 2 years, I did not look up. I'm like, screw it. I'm not going to look up. I'm not going to look up. and I didn't. But I don't know what happened about a year ago. I looked up, and I guess because I hadn't looked up in 2 years, I didn't realize how much stronger that stuff got. So then I started filming again. I told you the portal with the reptilian face thing that looked like a Klingon out of Star Trek. Except for it was in black and white, it wasn't in color, and that's weird. But it was in detail, like it was a black and white, you know, video or whatever. I mean, it was black, it was real, and it was in black and white. Like, whatever they're using to look down in here, they must be using some monitor system. I don't know, but it was a black and white image of the most detailed reptilian face that looked like a daggum Klingon, and it was mad at me for looking at it and snatched his head back. You know, it grimaced its teeth and eyebrows come down, and it just, and the cloud swirled in behind the opening. Yeah. And while you're saying, I've caught videos of stuff back there. You just, this camera on this phone sucks. I'm trying to film the sky and it keeps trying to focus. It's ching, ching. I'm like, stop it. I can't make this thing stop doing this autofocus. And check this out. When I make video, this phone does not have a pause button when you're recording. It's the stupidest thing I ever seen. Usually I'll record and hit pause so I can get another, you know. But this thing won't let me hit pause. There's no pause button when I'm recording. It's either just record and stop, and that's it. Damn, I've been on here 43 minutes. Sure don't feel like it. That Pixel didn't do that. That Pixel 6 phone. It had the best camera I've had in a while. Man, it's gonna rain all day here. Time is so messed up anymore. It's like working on my truck. I ain't never had time go that fast at work, but I was off the clock working on my own stuff, so. I had to fix my truck at the house with no tools to work on it with because all my tools are at the shop. I mean, I have a few, but it wasn't what I needed. My main stuff is at the shop. So I'm sitting there trying to find stuff and make do, and you know, I remember in the 70s, man, it would sit there and be like a misty rain, light rain, or whatever for 2 weeks straight up here in Tennessee. I mean, I was a kid, but I do remember how the clouds looked back in the 70s. And you didn't see all these long, what they call contrails. And when a bad storm was coming, they'd sit there and say, "We have a severe thunderstorm warning. Winds up to 32 mile an hour." 32 mile an hour nowadays is just a breeze. You know what I mean? You know, I don't let weather depress me or nothing. It's another day, just a different setting. I'm serious. Gloomy days don't gloom me out. I stay gloomed out all the time. Now, when I was in the Air Force, we had to work out in the rain, the snow, whatever. It didn't matter. You had to work. I got out of the Air Force and I'm doing heating and air, and these guys are like, we can't go in the house today. It ain't got a roof on it. I'm like, so? They're like, we can't do it. I'm like, man, I'm used to working in the rain. I mean, it have a roof on it with like black tar paper, but oh man. I don't even remember what I posted an hour ago. Oh yeah, I remember what it was now. If you click on it, man, it looks like two little dragons. The white things look like two little dragons, but it looks like two faces behind it. And one of them's got a pair. The one that's on the left looks like it's wearing some sort of goggles and got a little goatee. I don't know. It could be an image of me again. I don't know. I've been seeing too. Look, other people have been seeing my images in these sky videos. I'm like, what does that mean? Why is my image in the clouds? I mean, that don't make sense. I don't get it. Then I'm starting to think, am I generating this reality that I'm videoing? Because I'm not putting, look, how am I explaining this? I'm not, how can I put this? I don't know. I'm not using my imagination and going, oh, yeah, this is, I'm not making up stories and saying this is what's happening. And because I don't know what's happening. I'm just catching it as it's happening. I'm just live reporting what I'm seeing. You know what I'm saying? But I guess if I wanted more views, I could tell y'all a story while I'm doing it. Yeah, this is the Kuma Kuma dragon, and it came from the deep space of whatever, and blah blah. I could make up a bunch of shit, and I'd probably get more subscribers and views if I just sat there and started lying about everything and making up shit. But that ain't how I do it. I'm about truth. Hell, I seen me in the clouds with my naked eye and videoed it. I could, with my own eyeballs, I could see me up there. And if I had a daggum home computer, I could show you how that was happening too. Because there's these dark triangle shapes, and above the dark triangle shape is this masked figure that's looking through some sort of, it almost looks like a cell phone. And then that cell phone thing is above that black triangle. And then out of the bottom of that black triangle is projecting. I mean, I got it on video. I just doing all this on my phone. I can't break down the videos. So if y'all ain't, y'all just, there's so much stuff in these videos and nobody's catching any of it except for the obvious. And that's the whole trick to it. If you're watching the main show, you're not seeing what's happening backstage. You know what I'm saying? If you're watching that magician's right hand, you ain't looking at what his left hand is doing. And that's what these guys do. That son will put off some big show over there. That son's doing some crazy stuff. But if you turn around and look the other way, there's some really crazy stuff happening in the clouds. But everybody's distracted by the sun show. I don't know. It's all about deception. I'm just ready to get out of here. I'm done with this place, man. Y'all hear Ouija snoring over there. Yeah, I mean, my problem is, and I can't get y'all to understand. You get these channels and they keep jumping from one thing to another thing to another thing to another thing. And I don't know, you don't have time to process one thing you saw and you're looking at something else. And you don't even have time to process that and then you're looking at something else. Well, by the time you look at 20 different things, you done jammed up your brain so much you ain't processing anything you just saw. You're just looking at the pretty lights, looking at the pretty. I mean, I don't know. All I know is we're in a petri dish in a lab. I've seen the technicians in lab coats and their safety glasses all in the background behind the clouds. I've seen the CERN machine in the sky. I mean, I don't know how. This is my problem. I've seen all these pieces and I've seen all this stuff, but I don't have one direction to go because I don't know. There's too much to process to understand. I guess I don't know. Oh, that's the whole point. Confusion, man. And the truest statement. How is it? You can't. It's easier to fool somebody than to convince them that they've been fooled. You know what I mean? People want to hold on to what they believe, even if it was a lie. And you can tell them, "No, man, I was just lying to you. You don't have to believe it." "Oh, I'm gonna believe it." You know, I don't know. That's why I try not to push any persuasion of my thought on anything, but I can't get good enough feedback. That's my biggest problem. I mean, that gum. When I had physical evidence of rocks and crystals and meteorites and coal and stuff like that to show the same stuff in the sky, and you know, to me, that's a stop. I need to stop right here, hit the brakes, and I need to understand how am I seeing physical. How am I seeing sky stuff in physical rocks, crystals, meteorites, and coal? You know? Yeah, we live in a land of deception. That's deception causes the confusion. You see what I'm saying? That's where the confusion comes from the lies, the deception. I mean, California's fixing to California's fixing to spend billions of dollars paying reparations back to people. $600,000 per person that qualifies for reparations, and my skin color doesn't qualify. It's only one particular skin color. I mean, these people talking about how white people are racist are the most racist MFers out there. I saw a Chinese chick sitting there talking about, if we're going to have a gathering and you want to bring one of your white friends, you need to okay it with everybody at the gathering before you even think about bringing them. Because sometimes we don't want that white thought process around. I was like, what? They can say shit like that, but turn it around. Make that Chinese girl a white girl and have her say the same exact thing. Her channel will get yanked, you know, be called a racist, but it's okay for the left side, for these liberals to sit here and be racist as hell toward white people and nothing gets done. Or any other person. They can do any other people, but white people got to sit there and be quiet. It don't make sense. There, I'm glad Biden's the president of unity. He's brought this country together. He's done such a great job. You know, the thing, man. Corn Pop was a bad dude. Yeah, that above below thing. It's just that. How am I trying to say that? That kind of got commercialized. All it is the yin yang. All it is the opposites. You know, light, dark, good, bad, hot, cold. That's all above below is. It's just the opposites of the same thing. Kinda. Would hot cold be the same thing? No, one's hot, one's cold. But the common denominator is temperature. You see what I'm saying? You got to find the common denominator. Hot, cold, they're opposites, but the same common denominator is temperature. See? Black, white, opposites. Combination, same, what am I saying? Anyhow, it's color. You know, black is the color, white is the color. I don't know, man. Y'all, I've had it. And if you understand, cosmic rays and neutrino stars are not what you think they are. They're not objects in outer space. They are objects in that dimensional soup. I'm telling you, this James Webb telescope, they're videoing and taking pictures of more detailed images of what we're capturing in the clouds from the ground. That's all they're doing. Space is nothing more than what we're seeing above us, but in more crisper detail, because that stuff is out there. What we're seeing in the clouds is the impressions of their energy. You know, for every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. Well, these jokers are coming here. So their impression, their energy impression is showing up in the clouds. Wait till they get on the ground. Yeah, it's fixed, man. But look, y'all, Russia flew a couple of fully loaded bombers and landed them in China, and China flew a couple of fully loaded bombers and landed them in Russia. And Russia put out a statement saying they are tired. They named off America, the EU, and all these other NATO and this, that, and other, said they are a demonic plague upon this earth. Yeah. And Russia and China ain't going for the Great Reset. So I'm for them guys. If they're going to fight against this world, we need to back them. I mean, look at Ukraine. In 1 week's time, Russia wiped out over 300,000 soldiers. In 1 week's time. That ain't counting the wounded. But yet, they've been pushing for months how Ukraine is winning. Ukraine is... I kept telling you guys, Russia ain't even begun. And look, NATO and America, they've done exhausted their military supplies, man. All this because these fucking democrats want to sit there and protect themselves, so they'll cause a world war to hide their daggone bullshit. That's why in the beginning they tried, before Trump got elected, they're going, Russian collusion, Russian collusion. Well, that's because they were all up in Ukraine. I mean, look at that FTX. These Democrats are sending money to Ukraine, and then Ukraine in turn is putting the money back into FTX and sending it back to the Democratic Party. Sounds like money laundering to me. And they have receipt, and that daggum FTX guy, he's still walking around free. There's a lot of people that lost billions and billions and billions of dollars. But that's okay. That's okay, right? Oh shoot, this thing ain't been scrolling. What? My chat wasn't showing anybody. Let's see where we at. What happens when we're on the ground? Hang on. Black and white aren't colors. That's weird. So what are they if they ain't colors? Red's a color. Pink's a color. Blue's a color. How come black and white can't be a color? It is a color. If you say black, you see black in your mind. If you say white, you know what white looks like. I mean, what are you talking about being under the river? Where I hear what? Maria, how you doing? You up in Sweden. But yeah. Man, Russia used to be my number 2 country watching. Now it's India. Russia done fell to number 3. That's weird. My top 5 countries is America, India, Russia, Japan, and Mexico. Man, look, y'all are quoting all this stuff, and who's to say what is what? There are 5 fallen angels. Where'd that come from? I mean, seriously. I don't know what I don't know what to believe anymore. I mean, how can you believe anything that is supposed to be about the past? Because you can see right now in the present how they're writing this past for the future. COVID was a worldwide pandemic. No, COVID was a rename of the sniffles that was turned into a manufactured pandemic that never happened. It never happened, but everybody believes it did. COVID was the damn key they stuck in the ignition to sit there and reset everything. They had to figure out a way to control the people. So what better way than putting countries under medical lockdown, medical martial law? Save the world. We got, them poor old Chinese have been locked up. I mean, welded in their apartments, dying of starvation, jumping out of windows to try to be free for the last almost 3 years. And then we got all these government officials going, China is a good example of what the world should be doing. yeah, if you're trying to take over the world and control the people, yeah, that's a great example of how to do your country. But in reality, this daggum COVID bullshit was bullshit. What am I trying to say? The death rate of COVID was like less than a 1% chance of dying. I mean, how's that? And now I just saw something where they're talking about zombie viruses. The permafrost is melting in Russia, and these 46,000-year-old zombie viruses are coming. The scientists have gathered them up and revived them. I'm like, okay, y'all go and get these viruses that hadn't been seen on Earth in 40 something thousand years, and you're going to bring them back to life. But hang on, a virus is not alive or dead. None of this makes sense. How the hell can you have a virus that ain't alive or dead? So what the fuck? What the hell is it? I don't get it. Yeah, it's downhill. Yeah, RNA. People don't understand, man. Look, around here in Jackson, I'm hearing these advertisements uh regenerative therapy. They can sit there and tailor a special serum for you so your joints don't hurt anymore. Man, don't these people understand they're getting injected up with stem cells and stuff? Look, I better be careful how I say this. I've seen too many pictures of like the Kool-Aid under the microscope, and when that stuff, dried or whatever, it crystallized like frost on a window, and it had images in it that looked just like the stuff that's in the clouds. And then I saw another one where they just had, all right, say when you make vaccines, you have a base substance, and then you add your medicine in, right? That base substance alone has the nanobots in it that are building computer chips in your body. I seen it under a microscope. I saw it. It built a circuit board, and 3 blue LED lights lit up on it. It's crazy. And my boss's wife has got an app on her phone, and that app, it scans like, what is that? It's not barcodes anymore, whatever that little square thing is. And guess what? She can tell who's vaccinated or not. People that are vaccinated, and make her scan thing pop up and it'll show stuff. Yeah, the same patterns in that injection juice as in the sky. And look, I've seen the same patterns on meteorite, in coal, in these crystals and rocks. But yeah. But yeah, I do. Look, I guess I need to figure out how to hook up with Beyond the Spectrum, because she reads those cards and stuff, and I'm looking at the cards because they got pictures on it, and some of that stuff, those pictures are what's up in the sky, right? And when she starts explaining the cards, I start realizing, all right, that it's understandable to me. I don't know what the image, because I already seen it in the cloud. Now I see it on a card. Now I'm hearing the meaning. I'm like, okay, and I'm trying to. But anyhow, I want to talk to her about this temple, these temple mounds I found. The daggum Black Panther living in between two of them. And just get her spin on it. because I was watching another video and the guy was talking about the Mayan culture and what the Black Panther represented. The Black Panther is like an underworld sun god. And I'm like, all right, so why am I want to know why I'm having to deal with an actual Black Panther. You see what I'm saying? And if it's got something to do with the underworld, and think about it, if it's an underworld sun god, I've got a Black Panther living in between two temple mounds. So it's got to be associated with that somehow. I don't know. I'm just trying to get all the pieces together. Oh, really? Hooks up with the. Well, that stuff's probably still, you know, the body doesn't have to be alive for that stuff to continue on, I don't think. I'm telling you, man, this is like a daggum horror sci-fi movie that we're living in. We've got some of the most evil people in control of this world, and they're just doing whatever they want, whenever they want, however they want, and they don't care. They got so much money, they don't worry about money because they're working for the bad guy, you know what I mean? So they're always going to have money, no matter what. So they can do what money has to do for them to sit there and do what they're doing to everyone. I think they should take lobbyists out of the White House because that's bullshit. These people are going up there and saying, "Hey, look, if you can get this law passed, there's a, nice little chunk of change going to go in your account." Okay, I'll make sure I pass that law. And that's how that law gets passed. It's beneficial for whoever paid that sum to get that law passed so they can make even more money. I don't remember what the title was. Live stream about nothing. Is that what Well, I just left one live stream. Dude was sitting there snoring. I'm like, man, this is crazy. You gonna do a live stream and sleep through it? Come on. Why are you even going live? So I figured I'd at least go live and at least talk the whole time about anything, everything. Yeah, I said something to somebody about stuff underground, and they looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like, dude, I thought you knew this. I mean, you understand they are chemtrailing the skies, but that's the thing, man. These people, they might know a little. I ain't even gonna say it like that. I don't know. I'll just leave it alone. But these people are not thinking hard enough about what I don't know. What, they understand there's chemtrails up there, but those chemtrails do more than just one thing. They're multi-purposed, and they're not. A lot of them, or more than a lot, are not real airplanes doing that. LL, I chased one up my driveway one night. For real. Hey, Peter. Kimberly, how you doing? All right, Peter. Look, I got to the point to where I feel like I'm not reaching anybody. I just feel like I'm wasting time. People are looking at this stuff like it's art instead of looking at it for what it is, a reality of something's going on and we need to figure it out before it's too late. It's just crazy. And I'm surprised the owner of that company I work for, he understands their company. He told me the other day, well, I was outside filming when I got to work, and he's like, they're spraying this stuff at night now. Too many people are noticing, and they're spraying at night. I'm like, they've been spraying at night for years. I mean, they have. But the reason they're doing it at night is, I'm telling y'all, look, all right, how can I say this? The earth's not round, the earth's not flat. Whatever, how am I trying to say this? Space is not space. The stars are not stars. The planets are not planets, but they are entities in that dimensional soup that they call outer space. But it's not. And I'll say space is not a vacuum. You know what I mean? Space is nothing but density of the dimension. And look, this whole physical existence exists in a dimensional realm. Our physical existence is the only oddity in this whole scheme of things. If you haven't had the same experiences, you're not going to understand in a way. How am I trying to say? Well, you need to knock JB off your list too, man. I don't know why. This phone's getting hot. I don't even know how much battery I got left. Dadgum, this thing had 100% when I started. Now it's down to 44 and I'm plugged in. That's pitiful. Why wouldn't you, Bang Bang? I don't know. I need better equipment. I need a good camera. Oh, yeah, y'all talk about issues. This phone right here, man, it works in slow motion. It's hard for me to even edit. I'll sit there and get the slide bar to edit, and man, it takes it like 2 seconds before it starts even doing anything. Yeah, this phone here, yeah, there ain't crap on YouTube anymore. Oh, I guess the camera makes the bubbles move. Now it's telling me to rotate the device. I didn't unrotate it. I had a Galaxy. What did I have? A Galaxy 7 tablet. It did pretty good pictures. That Pixel 6, it did. It was weird. It had 2 cameras on it, right? And one camera was for like normal, viewing. And when you zoomed, it went to the other camera. I ain't never seen one do like that. Oh, man. I'm just waiting for the sun to rise. I've been waiting since 3 o'clock. My sleep patterns, man. I went to bed at 8 o'clock the other night and went to bed at 7 o'clock last night. Woke up early each night, too. Dadgum. 2017. I don't even have a working phone from 2021. I mean, all mine, they get messed up. I'm sure they'll tell you it can't be hacked while it's being hacked. So you think it's unhackable. Look, they got back doors in there. Look, they can claim a phone's unhackable, but all you gotta do is allow a certain app to do something, and you're hacked. Oh, Elon's got his own cell phone coming out. Yeah, I can't believe, man. They're trying to knock old Twitter off the off the internet because they don't want people to have discussions about their views of things. They don't want the truth to come out. That's what it is. Because I'm telling you, these dadgum crazy ass whatever these people are and their crazy ass beliefs, like, get my pronoun and this, that, and the other. And, well, what do you mean? Strange things? I don't know. I've seen a Bigfoot twice. Seen a UFO over my neighbor's house. Um, when I hit the deer on my motorcycle, I died and was cradled in my creator's arms for about 3 seconds. I don't know, it's just so much crazy stuff. I fell asleep driving home one night. And I don't know how to. All right, it was a 2-lane highway, but to the right they were building a 4-lane highway, and they'd cut down this hill. So this 2-lane highway was still going up the original hill, but they'd cut the hill down like 3 foot from the edge of the highway, and it was a drop about, I don't know, probably 80 feet. And somehow I fell asleep and went off the shoulder and went over that edge. But when I went off the shoulder, I woke up and snatched to get back on the road. And the back end of the car went over the edge, and I was looking up at the sky. Then all of a sudden, something like picked my car up and set it on the road. Yeah, that was weird. But my car, it felt, I ain't lying, it felt like I was in a toy car and some kid just, picked it up and put it back on the road right. It was weird. Yeah, we ain't gonna talk about the crazy exes. Hey, you remember the one I told you I dated that came out of the mental hospital? I ran into her up in Jackson the other day, and she's got multiple personalities. She's not even Diane anymore. She's somebody else, and she didn't remember me from nobody. But it was her because you can't change people's teeth lines. You can't change how they laugh. You can't change some of the ways they say words. It was her all day long. But I know her, and she had multiple. She would. She could. It was crazy. But anyhow. Yeah, I ain't had any sleep paralysis since the 90s. Oh, yeah, another one, Peter, that daggone Black Panther. I didn't realize it was in its den, and I'm standing about 30 foot out the front of it. And I couldn't hear it with my ear. I heard something once and I just knocked it off because all the hills and valleys and stuff. I just figured it was like jack brakes or something from somewhere way off. And turns out that thing was growling at me the whole time I was filming because you can hear it on the video. Well, them bad X's are dark energy, Think about it. My ex-wife, she'd sit there and it's like every relationship was the same. The same things would happen. And it was happening with me. And I'm like, this sounds like what's happened to you in your past. And anyhow, I finally told her, I go, it seems to me with the way you're saying everything goes for you, no matter who the person is, you're the common denominator. So therefore, you're the problem. And then, anyhow, we broke up, and she's one of these crazy, whats. And she called me up one day. She's at a hotel drunk or whatever. And she's like, I gotta use the bathroom here. And handed the phone to her new boyfriend. So I'm sitting there talking to him. I'm like, has this happened to you yet? He's like, yeah. He goes, this happened to you yet? And he goes, yeah. I go, how about this? He goes, no. I go, what's about to happen? And I realized that she had a circle. It'd start out good and then it'd go a certain way. And then but by the time it got back around to where it started, she'd be good again. Then she'd go through that cycle, then be good again, then go through that cycle. I watched that for a few years. Hell, the sleep paralysis I had one time, man. I mean, it's a totally black room, right? There was a even blacker spot above me that, in a figure shape. It was blacker than the black. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. The Bigfoot I saw, I was a kid, I was chasing a cat, and this was in like, it's either 79 to 81. I can't really remember. Didn't have the internet back then. The only movie out about Bigfoot was The Legend of Boggy Creek. But I saw that thing standing there. I mean, I don't ever. And the second one I saw, I got a picture of. It was jumping from tree. It was like 30 foot up in the trees, just jumping from treetop to treetop. It was weird. And I got a picture of it. I'm reading the comments, y'all. Yeah, that's weird. I used to see a lot of out of the corner of my eyes. It looked like black snakes slithering. By the time you turned, they wasn't there. And then it started out, it was like mouse size, and it went to rat size, and it looked like snakes. And one day I was sitting in my shop, and one went by the door, and it was flying. But I ain't seen the black shadows doing that in a long time either. It's been a while. But yeah, I was doing a live stream one night. It was like what 1:30 in the morning. I was out in the shop. My dog started barking out the back window of the house. So I come out of the shop and snuck around. I didn't have a flashlight on. I had it in my hand, and I heard something in the back there. So I snuck on around. I shined the light on it, and I still don't know what I saw. It was like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just like tan color. Didn't have any hair. It was just skin. It kind of reminded me of a greyhound, but it didn't have a dog head on it. It was, I don't know. And the back legs bent backwards than what a dog would bend. It was weird. And that thing, I had 20,000 kilowatts of spotlight on it. And that thing took off running, and I beeline, and I came out right. It went in between my two cars. And when it came out between them, I was right there behind it. And that thing, when it was running, it was going, ruff, 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 ruff. And then I'm chasing it, and I'm like, what the hell am I chasing? And I stopped, and that thing, it got about another 30 foot, and then it slowed down and ducked underneath the cable at the end of my driveway, and it stopped. And it turned around and looked at me like, you MFer, how dare you? And then it just walked off. And I still ain't, look, it didn't have any eyes. They were just black sockets. There was no light reflecting out of them. It didn't have any ears. I wish I could have got a picture of that. But man, that was crazy. That happened, what, like a year ago, I think. I had a screech owl hit me in my face one night when we were going down a back road in a car. I guess it was going for a mouse, and the car just happened to cross, and I happened to have the window down when it did it. That sucker smacked me in my face. Hell, when I went to pull in my driveway last night, I'm on the road and I go to turn in. I ain't never seen this before, but it was a red round orb, and it started going down my driveway. I was like, what in the world? No, it wasn't no bear. The one jumping from tree to tree? No, it wasn't no bear. It was moving like a chimpanzee, but it was the size of a gorilla. Shoot, I had to get a great horned owl. I had some chickens one time, and one of them big old great horned owls sat there and attacked one of my chickens. And I had to run out there and beat the owl off the chicken with the flashlight. I wasn't about to reach in because, man, that thing had some claws. But, man, I don't know, some nights sounds like about 10 of them great horned owls out here. And then there's something else that tries to imitate them. You had an owl. Excuse me, that coffee on an empty stomach is not working out too well. This is something I've noticed over the years. If I start filming up in the clouds, take them buzzards show up. And another thing I've noticed, whenever some of these cryptics or whatever you want to call them are around, there's a bunch of ravens or crows or whatever you want to call them. I don't know, man. We live in a crazy world. And check this out. This is trippy, man. The other night, Ouija woke up barking. I was like, man, what's outside? I go outside. Big old possum, man. I'm talking about big. Just trying to climb up this tree because it heard me coming. And I have this black light on my flashlight, right? So I was like, I wonder if this possum can see black light. So I turned it on, and it was the craziest thing, man. That possum skin, you know, its belly part where you can see more skin, was glowing like a maroonish moab or something. You know, it was kind of like a purplish, dark blood, reddish kind of. I don't know. It's the weirdest glow I ever seen. Why would a possum glow like that? You know, I didn't have my camera or nothing, so. But that was weird. That gun, this thing, y'all are chatting and this ain't even popping up. Hell, I got a chicken that come up out of nowhere. Hey, Ouija gets along with it now, though. You know, that's something we ain't got around here anymore. Blackbirds. I ain't seen a blackbird in years. And I remember back when I was a kid, man, those things would migrate, and there'd be so many of them. It was crazy. I mean, you couldn't see the trees for all of them in the trees. I haven't seen one blackbird in years. Yeah, well, y'all make the chat room. I just happen to be where the chatting is. What? Man, I haven't seen a mockingbird. I haven't seen. All right, in the last 4 years, I've seen maybe 4 cardinals, 2 blue jays, and that's it. I see woodpeckers here and there. Yeah. Oh, I'm live streaming. Hang on. I don't get that, man. It's all about views and clicks and watch time. That's another reason I don't go live much and stuff, because I'm just repeating myself. I mean, I've come to a point to where I was like, I just need to stop and figure out what it is I found. I don't need to be distracted by anything else unless I can tie it in. And I've been looking for other people to see what they're coming up with, to see what I can. If they're looking at what I'm saying and saying it different, then I can take their aspect and my aspect and figure out. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to, but I'm not having any luck with that. Wait, well, Maria, I ain't had any birds, and that possum was the first possum. Well, I'll take that back. I've seen 2 possums in the last 2 months, but I hadn't seen a possum in years. I never saw a raccoon until look. I live out in the middle of the woods, and there's hardly any wildlife. It's the craziest thing. No, well, Paris, his whole skin. I mean, it wasn't like patches. It's just wherever there wasn't hair. I would figure, like, black light shining on something white makes it blue. You know what I mean? Makes it stand out. And I'm trying to figure out what color you need in order to get that maroonish color. Fall asleep, wash his dishes, do his laundry. I mean, man, I've seen possums before that had like yellow fungus growing on their stomachs. I'm talking about like canary yellow, some kind of fungus, man. Yeah, there's a lot of billionaires, crypto billionaires that are just dying. Yeah. They were probably part of the scam and they're eliminating, you know, the truth because them guys would probably take a plea bargain. So that's how it all works. I know you're guilty as hell, but if you do this for us, we'll do a plea bargain and lessen it on you. I mean, that's bullshit. I think the law is the law. If you broke it, you broke it. There shouldn't get any, I don't know. That's just me. I'm going to move to Russia here for too long. I ain't lying. I'm fixing to go to Russia. Me and my old pal, Vladdy. No. Huh. Oh, you know what's weird? Those crystals I got, I call dragon eyes. I shined that black light through those, and it did not change how the light came out of it. The light came out the same as it comes out of a regular LED light shining through it. I'm like, that's weird. The crystalline structure. I don't know. Y'all know quartz. How am I trying to say this? Like these electric spark lighters and stuff that's got a little piece of quartz in it. And when you push the button down, something strikes that quartz, and that quartz energizes and creates a spark. See? I don't know. It's just some crazy. I don't know. Hmm. I found. I don't know. I got all sorts of crazy. I got pieces of meteorite on the. I mean, little bitty pieces, and some of them are already magnetic. They will stick to metal. Man, I still can't print. Balenciaga. Balenciaga. I don't know if I even said that right. I found this other thing. I don't know what it is. I called it space diamonds back in the day. They would shine like a diamond, but when I'd find them, they're black, but they're shiny black, almost like chrome black shiny. I don't know how to explain it. And look, I don't know what they are, but I heated one up till it was purple, man. I figured it would melt, and it didn't melt. So I sat there and I had it in the pliers. So I went to squeeze it. Now this thing, it ain't big at all. It's about the size of a. It was half the size of a sunflower seed, or not even that big. And I squeezed that thing, and it exploded like a daggone M80 firecracker. So I don't know what they are. I just call them space diamonds. But yeah. Man, y'all, I've been on here an hour and 46 minutes. With the phone on the chart. Oh, it's still at 44. But yeah, I'm just jumping all subject to subject. Well, look, there's some daylight out there, so I'm fixing to go outside and let the dog do her business and bark and chase stuff. And I appreciate y'all coming out. And yeah, I ain't had sleep paralysis, like I said, in a long, long time. But look, y'all, let me get out of here. She's just, y'all seen her before. But look, I'm going to get out of here, guys. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good day. And until the next video or live stream, I'll see y'all later.